Welcome back to Terre Haute, Indiana for the 2024 Division III Cross Country National Championships. We just brought you the Women's 6K Championship before this, where Faith Duncan won in a time of 2016. MIT were your team champions. We now turn our attention to the men's 8,000-meter race as we look at this beautiful shot of the LaVern Gibson cross country course. The DePaul faithful out there waving the flag. We're about 10 minutes away from the men's 8,000-meter championship, and we've got a little preview action coming your way. Stu, who are we looking out for on the individual side, I believe, or team side? Let's start with the team side.
Yeah, we'll start with the team. The team that has never faltered since the preseason, that is UW La Crosse. After narrowly losing to Pomona-Pitzer last year by a point, the Eagles came into the season as number one, and they have yet to let that spot go.
Yeah, they've been holding on to that spot. Second place finish last year, but I think this team race is probably a little bit closer than you would think. You see Wartburg there, Pomona-Pitzer, North Central, RPI. All of these programs have strong cases at making a run at this national championship, even if La Crosse has been at the top of the rankings.
Yeah, La Crosse has been undefeated so far this season. They did face off against Wartburg in September and won by about 20-ish points. I think it was exactly 18 points. And I think it was great for them to come to this course and see it. They weren't really challenged throughout this season. They did face UW Whitewater. They beat them twice in their conference and the North region. But I think Wartburg, Pomona, and North Central have made up some ground on the Eagles. But it's going to be a very tough to tell because Wartburg looks great. North Central was 4 points behind Wartburg, and they're 2 spots back. So it's really anyone's race.
Stu, you talked to a lot of the Eagles on the D3 Glory Days podcast. We mentioned they were second last year by 1 point. What kind of psychological impact do you think it had on that program?
Yeah, I know they were devastated by it, but they didn't let it affect them. If you watch D3 track and field and cross country at all, you saw their performance. They're coming in with their entire 7. They were an individual All-American on the track. That's insane. They got it in the 5K, the 10K, the steeple. So they didn't let that 1 point affect them too much. We talked to the Mathai twins. It was a cathartic feeling for them to edit the video to show them losing, but now they're over it and they're moving on to this year.
Outside of that top 5, I want to give you a chance to just throw out a dark horse team pick.
Yeah, dark horse team pick could be NYU. You're looking at Williams. That's Chucky Namio. He's going to be an individual contender, but a team I think that could sneak into the podium is NYU. They had a 8-second 1 through 5 spread, I want to say, or maybe it was like 5 seconds. It was insane at the Niagara region. They ran all together. If they can channel that type of pack running and move that towards the top 60, top 50 with all 5 of your guys, that's a huge ask, I know, but they look capable of doing something like that. They just saw the women get a 4th place finish when they were ranked 6th. They're ranked 6th. Who knows if there's some magic in the NYU camp.
We're crowning team champions today, but we're also crowning our individual champion today. And Stu, we saw Faith Duncan run away with that women's race. I have a feeling that this men's individual championship is going to be a lot tighter.
Yeah, as you can see on the board right here, we have 3 guys from the North region. Christian Patska, a 2-time cross-country national runner-up. Mo Batti of Augsburg. Nathan Tassi, Roger Williams, who won this race in September, taking down Grant Mathai of UW La Crosse, Isaiah Hammerin, the Hammer from Wartburg, and Emmanuel LeBlanc of Johns Hopkins are 6 guys to keep an eye on for. Mo Batti, go look him up on Strava right now. We are convinced this man does not do any workouts, but he hammers races, and it's so fun to watch. He beat Patska and Mathai at the regional. He won the MIAC conference meet. He's a dark horse in this race because betting money, if there was betting money in D3 cross country, it wouldn't be on him because he's under the radar, but we have been following him closely.
And you don't always know what you're going to get out of Mo Batti. Like, you see him absolutely destroy races from the front, but sometimes he falters too. So we'll see what he can do on the national stage after not even qualifying last year. Another really cool story here would be Christian Patska, runner-up last year, spent a lot of the summer injured after going after that Olympic trials qualifier in the steeplechase. He was on the elliptigo every day. I was on Strava getting a little worried about him, Stu, because he just wasn't doing any running until until he really got to campus. So we talk about how long this season is. It's been kind of short for Christian Patska, but he has ascended really quickly.
Yeah, you can't bet against Patska, the 3K, 5K track champion. And he's so talented and gifted in this sport, so it'll be fun to see what he can do today. But another runner I want to mention here, as you see him on your screen, he must have heard us, is Nathan Tassi. He came out here, he won the John McNichols invite, he was fourth in the 5K outdoors. He's healthy for the first time in his running career. His coach said there's really nothing special about his training. He's fairly low mileage, but he's consistent, and his work ethic day in and day out to try to be great is something that he commends him for, and he likes his chance. His coach obviously likes his own runners' chances this weekend.
The LaVern Gibson cross-country course is one of the very few dedicated cross-country courses in the United States. We find ourselves here for the first time since 2012, back in cross-country town, USA. On your screen now, very similar to that women's 6K race, except we're just going to do a few more loops in there. Everybody's run this course a million times. Nobody really knows how it works. But on your screen now, we come down that home stretch 3 times, actually. The start, the 5K mark is right around the finish line, and then they'll come through one more time to complete the 8,000 meter run. We've talked a lot about the course already if you were tuned in with the women's race, but conditions on the ground are really good, but the course could be a little sloppy, especially now that the women's field has churned it up a little bit. We had some rain over the last few days, but it's clear today. Temperature right around 42 degrees in Terre Haute, and light and variable winds, cloudy and overcast. Kind of a cross-country dream weather here. It's just perfect for running fast, Stu.
I just got a text from an insider saying the downhill by the first turn, that 1K, is super sloppy and it's getting super muddy. You mentioned this course, they do it 2 times over, so they're going to have to go that downhill twice, which could cause some chaos in the late stages of this race.
We were out on the course yesterday doing some pre-race interviews, talking to a lot of these athletes, and a lot of them were talking about, the length of spikes they were going to put in the bottom of their shoes. If you're new to cross country, their racing shoes have these metal spikes on the bottom that allow them to dig in, hold good traction throughout the course. And there were some teams who they had to make a detour over to a local running store to buy the longest spikes they had. They were joking that they bought them all to to make sure their competition couldn't get them. So yeah, those long spikes are in the shoes for sure. That's an interesting note, Stu, from the first turn, because that's really when these athletes are traveling at their critical velocity down that hill. They're going to be absolutely flying and packed up really tightly, and so if there's a slip or a fall, it could really impact the race.
We saw Faith Duncan go out at 3:06, and she ran 20:16, which the math doesn't add up there, so she did not sustain that pace. If you think about, you extrapolate to what the men's pace could be, we could see a flying first K, and then they're going to have to pay for it on that next loop around.
We talked to some of the contenders yesterday at the press conference, and I asked them point blank how fast they were willing to go out, and everybody said 4:35, but Stu, I'm going to make a prediction and guess that the first mile of this men's race goes out faster than 4:35.
Wow, that's going to be blazing. I love it. Yeah, well, I want to say they were keeping their strategy at bay.
They were being kind of coy.
Yeah,
they were being kind of coy. Whitewater on your screen. Patska and Gunnar Schlinder there in purple. That's Noah Tobin also in the lime green hat, who we just went by. His teammate just won the women's championship. And here we go, Stu. It all comes down to this, the summer miles, the workouts back on campus with the team. They've been through conference, they've been through regionals, they've been through it all, and now we toe the line one last time here in Terre Haute. The runners now receiving their final instructions. That's Mo Bhatti there in kind of the maroon-colored jersey that we just went by, but a lot to watch here. Stu, give me a prediction. How long do you think this race stays packed up? Is there anybody that you would expect to see take a flyer off the front?
Ooh, I don't know. This weather, the course, it's muddy. We're going to see. I mean, probably one of those top 6 guys is who would take it. I want to say it's going to be packed up at the mile, and Isaiah Hammerin, I wrote this in our preview article, Isaiah Hammerin of Wartburg, he typically moves in between that 2 and 3K mark. He likes to go for it. He did that at the Augie in a regional and at regionals, as here's the gun.
The runners leave their boxes behind and barrel down that long Terre Haute straightaway for the first of 3 times. We are underway here at the 2024 Division III National Cross Country Championships.
What an exciting day. The action is constantly going. We haven't even caught our breath from the women's race yet, and now we're getting going. But the most beautiful shot in all of sports right now, a drone of the D3 Cross Country National Championship.
Doesn't get much better than this. You can actually kind of see puddles on the course, how it's a little bit torn up. We mentioned that slick spot. We've got some spies on the ground in Terre Haute letting us know course conditions. So we'll see how they navigate that first turn. That's going to be the first real inflection point of this race. Once again, if you were tuned into the women's race, you know that first turn is going to be a right turn, and so you see the field kind of compressing now as we go by the finish line for the first time.
They're going to see that finish line 2 more times on this course. Once there's going to be a tease at the 5K mark, and then finally they'll be able to be a new national champion. Talking with Christian Patska after the Augie Interregional, he kind of joked that he's either going to be a 3-time runner-up or a national champion, aka he's either going to go for it and win, or he's going to go for it and come up a bit short. He's okay with either right now.
Before we get too far into this race, I think it's kind of fun to shout out programs who are pretty new to the national stage, who haven't been here in a while, and there's a few of those here in the men's race, highlighted by Moravian. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yep, Moravian, the Hounds.
The Hounds of Moravian are qualified for the national meet for the very first time in program history. Huge for that program. So if you guys are tuning in, congratulations. We hope to see you here more often. Also, Hope qualified for the first time since 1990, and Carthage is here for the first time since 1977. So a few great stories in this race.
So looking at it right now from this spot, Isaiah Hammerin looks to be up there. There's a St. Olaf athlete, a few more Wartburg. Lacrosse is in the mix. The tall guy on the left of your screen with the arm sleeves, that's Isaac Van Westeringen from Cornell College.
I feel like Isaac has kind of gone under the radar just a little bit. We've seen some really impressive stuff from him on the track. He's here as an individual, but he's definitely a top 10 threat.
Yeah, he was 4th at the regional in the Midwest, and has had some, like you said, has strong times on the track as Wartburg is in position early, and Christian Patska and Gunnar Schlender are pretty far back. They're in that mid-tier right now. They're going to have a lot of work to do to make up and get to the front of this pack. So game on, as Patska and Schlender are in trouble early on.
We're through 1K, 2:39. It looks like Gottner comes through and takes us through the field in 2:39. That's an extremely fast first K.
And, we mentioned that Schlender and Patska are towards the back, but maybe that's a good thing. 2:39 is moving at this rate. Seeing where they were coming through that first K, Patska was in 98th, 2:44. So maybe that will be okay for him. We saw some folks move backwards at the end of the women's race, as Williams will take the early lead, 117 over St. Olaf to 167, Wartburg 182, Carnegie Mellon 189, RPI 199, and last year's reigning champs, or the reigning champs from last year, Pomona Pitzer, sitting in 6th with 205 points.
We mentioned that blazing split. We see Isaiah Hammerand. He's up for it, though. He's definitely one of the contenders. He came through that first split in 3rd and 240. We've seen him go off the front in the past. We saw that at the Augustana Invite. I don't know about going off the front when you came through in 240, though.
Yeah, this is going to be a battle of who can kind of hang on now, and we'll see it potentially. We're going to get almost every split of this race. We'll get a 2K split here and kind of see how this pace is going out. But yeah, you need to figure out what you have left and hold on for dear life, or start moving up.
Yeah, we're talking about whether or not we should start raising the alarm about Patska and Gunnar Schlender. I don't think so. They are pretty far back in the field, but I think that's a very reasonable split for them. And they're pros, right? They've been doing this at the highest levels. They know where they need to be. I'm sure they had a nice discussion with coach before this. Plenty of time to move up in this race.
Yeah, it's a rarity to see them not in the front. But to your point, when they're moving this quick, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. They're probably going to have to wait till like the 3-4K mark to start crawling their way back in.
It looks like I'm maybe seeing a few Lynchburg athletes bunched up in there.
It looks like that's Carnegie Mellon, but I did see Chase and Hunt. He got the black long sleeve on closest to you. Carnegie Mellon has the tartans written on their back. Lynchburg with a little bit of a darker red. As you see some Williams, Chucky Namio is up there in the polka dot, the Fs.
Chucky Namio was one of the athletes represented at the press conference yesterday. He was very cool and composed, just grateful for the work he put in this year, but I don't know, there's a quiet confidence about him. I think he could do some damage today.
Yeah, he led that Lynchburg DMR to the victory. He placed well in the outdoor 5K. And Lynchburg, they want to do better than last year. We talked to them before the race. They were 9th last year, and the goal was just to do a little bit better than that. They're a little bit out of their element with some of this weather, whereas in Lynchburg, Virginia, it's a little bit nicer, but they'll be okay in this type of situation.
I believe we just crossed through that 2K mat, so we'll have splits for you very soon. Field's starting to string out, but on the individual side, nobody really taking it off the front. 3:01 for that second K, 5:41 for the fields in the front.
Yes, Xander Gottner of MSOE still in the lead, 3:01, so it slowed a little bit. But here is La Crosse. The Eagles have moved up 7 spots over 1,000 meters to take the lead over Pomona-Pitzer. So it's 131, 154, Williams in 3rd, Wartburg in 4th.
As he has all season, Grant Mathai leads the Eagles, sitting in about 8th right now, but it's kind of all a wash up front. They need a good race from him, and they need a good race from his brother to claim that top spot on the podium.
Yeah, Aiden right now is in 24th, and he's their #1 runner. Excuse me, no, he is not. Grant Mathai is in 8th. So, as you can see right there,
this is a big run from Gottner here.
This is huge, yeah.
I'm not sure we saw this one coming.
He was in the North region. He was part of that MSOE team that did fairly well this year. I know they were ranked for a little bit, but they did not advance as they finished 9th as a team. But Gottner, we talked about how good the North region is. He finished 9th in his own region, behind Bati, the Mathais, Pashka, Schlender, Jacob Krulowski from Carthage, and Kevin Killington and Andrew Skep from St. Olaf. So he's batting above his weight right now, and we'll see how long he can sustain it. It looks great though early through 2K.
It looks like Patska moved up about 40 spots from 1K to 2K.
And we'll get the next split at 4K, and these updates are going to come fast and often as we have a 4K split, 5K split, 5.6, and we'll get a 6.5K split before the finish line.
I'm looking for Mo Bhatti. You didn't happen to see where he was. I may have missed him, but it looks like he could be fairly.
He's at 29th. He's in All-American position.
Okay, I missed it. Mo Bhatti sitting in All-American position. I believe the first All-American in cross-country for Augsburg, potentially, Mo
if he
Bhatti.
Hangs on,
if he hangs on, correct.
Yeah, Pomona looking good right now. They got 3 in the top 26. Cameron Hatler is 26 for them. Jack Stein is 22nd. And Quinn White up in the front in 6th place as Isaiah Hammerin is in the lead now. You can see Quinn White of Pomona over his right shoulder. 2 more Wartburg guys. That's Lance Saboski to your far right and Jacob Green right next to him. Emmanuel LeBlanc is right there. You see Nathan Tassi on the right shoulder. There's NYU's pack right there. You got 2 guys right there. There's Noah Tobin in the green hat. So the contenders are moving up early.
Absolutely. Isaiah Hammerand, I think, just naturally floats to the front. I mean, we saw him go with that really fast 1K, and now he finds himself leading this race as we approach 3K. Pretty comfortable spot from him, but the big question mark is going to be that last 1 to 2K for him.
As we see now off the front, judging by the colors of the jerseys, we got, I want to say it's Isaiah Hammerin and maybe Nathan Tassi right behind him if those are light blue shorts.
Is it possible that's the 3 Wartburg guys?
Oh, it could be. They look all very identical.
Yeah, if it is, that's a big statement. We'll wait till we get a head-on shot to confirm. But this is really the first time about 3K into this race that a few individuals are starting to kind of trickle off the front. But that top 40, top 50 is still pretty packed up.
And that's a great move by them if they realize that guys like Mo Bhatti, Gunnar Schlender, Christian Patska aren't with them. take it. Don't let them catch back up. Keep the gas going because you don't want to have to rely on your kick. Patska has a strong kick. He runs a good 1,500 meter, given that he's a 3K, 5K type guy. And we were close. 2 out of 3 were correct. It was to Wartburg, and that's that's Quinn White behind Isaiah Hammerin from Pomona Pitzer. There's Grant Mathai and Chucky Namio. Jason Hunt. There's Patska. He has moved up. Emerald Saventi of North Central up there.
Yeah, we haven't given Emerald his props. Their props. We haven't given Emerald their props yet, excuse me. But they have had a very strong season, and now they are moving up through the field for North Central College.
Yeah, North Central was 3rd last year, and they're looking to get back on the podium. They're sitting 10th right now, as we see the runners battling it out. Where are we at? 11 minutes into this race. And it's going to be a great competition. We'll get a 4K split here to see where the teams are at. As that's Tyler Schermerhorn of Wartburg. Unfortunately, they were hoping they could count on him today. It looks like he's got some tape on his leg.
It's got to be an injury.
Got to be an injury for Tyler Schermerhorn. There's a hope runner right there.
4K split coming up. Kind of an interesting dichotomy being created. Some of the individual favorites start a little further back, making their way up, and some of the individual favorites just decided to go from the front. Christian Patska now entering that top 10 for the first time all race. Stu starting a little further back, moving up. That could mean he has a little sting in his legs for the last couple K.
Yeah, he might have saved a little bit there, but I saw 2 athletes throw their gloves off, one being Jason Hunt. So the gloves are off, the arm sleeves are off on some of them. You saw that flying there on the screen. So the race is on. 12 minutes into the race, roughly 12 minutes to go. We're at the halfway, well, not necessarily the halfway mark, so we'll hit the 4K. That's the official halfway mark, but things are getting interesting as the contenders are slowly making their way to the front. As 12:05 split for the 4K, Isaiah Hammerin in the lead, Quinn White of Pomona Pitzer, Charles Namio of Williams, Grant Mathai, and Jacob Green make up your top 5, and Patska, you are right, is in the 10th, but right there with them, Mo Bhatti.
Quinn White has really come into his own this season. We saw him kind of take a big chance at pre-nats where he went off the front at pre-nats, faded it back into the field a little bit, but his confidence is there, sitting in second, right behind Isaiah Hammerin Nails.
So we're getting some team scores here. It's super unofficial right now. We'll wait for it, but we'll see where things stand at the halfway mark. And Wisconsin lacrosse lead has grown. They are at 89 points. They're almost doubling Wartburg at 173. So it's Wisconsin lacrosse, Wartburg, Pomona, Pitzer, Williams, and then Carnegie Mellon.
As it does in cross country, that 4-5 spot are so important. In lacrosse, they're 5th. 33 points right now. Wartburg is a little bit further back into the field with their 5th runner especially, but if they can move up, they can close down that point differential by quite a bit.
Corey Fairchild is currently lacrosse's 5th runner, and he's in 41st place. So they almost have 5 All-Americans. He's moved up 18 spots since the 2K split. So this is where things can get interesting. 93 to 180 is the official score right now. 93 to 180, lacrosse over Wartburg. Pomona Pitzer 192, Williams 212, Carnegie Mellon moving up a little bit at 219.
Chucky Namio takes us through the start line again. They're going to go down this home stretch where they'll see 5K, so this is the penultimate trip down the home stretch. I just saw Gunnar Schlinder there right behind Patska, so all of your contenders are here.
And this is it. This is the lead pack right here. And this is going to be an intense battle as they have 3,000 meters to go once they get to that finish line again. I saw, it looked like Grant Mathai pumping up the crowd. I think they can feel it happening this year. They were 1 point shy last year. They had a tough last 2,000 meters. Can they hold on to claim their first team national title since 2005.
Grant Mathai is doing exactly what the Eagles need him to do. Stay there and be a low stick. There's the head-on shot.
Look at this.
The favorites are stretched all the way across. This is exactly what we thought might happen. It's exactly what we hoped would happen. And Stu, Mo Bati lurking in that second line of favorites right there.
The who's who of D3 cross country is here right now, and look at this statement being made by UW La Crosse. They have 3 athletes at the front of the race. We mentioned in the preview, if Aiden Mathai could run with Grant Mathai like they did at the regional, things would look very good for them, and things are looking very good right now through 5,000 meters.
That pack of leaders actually consolidated a little bit down the home stretch. We saw Emerald Saventi join up with that pack, and that group of runners is looking really strong. 3K to go. It's time to start asking some questions as we see 4 or 5 runners crossing the finish line. Just a great shot here. This is where it's decided back in the trenches.
You have to hope you left enough for this final 3,000 meters. You go back down the hill where it's sloppy and it's muddy, and you go through the hills once more. You have to tackle this 400-meter straightaway once again. But oh my, this is heating up as everyone in D3 running is in this. Who's been an All-American? Who's been a national champion? They're all in this race right now.
This is when you start holding your breath, because we're starting to run out of real estate for a move, but you know the move is coming. Who's going to do it? This is off a fast pace too, so any move that comes is not going to come without a huge effort, but there are 10 guys here who we know are up for it.
And you just have to stay calm. You have to have confidence in your training. And most importantly, when you make this move, especially in a cross-country race like this, you have to be confident with it. You can't let off the gas if you go for it. Any sign of struggle, any sign that you aren't confident in your kick or ability to move, this whole pack will come back and eat you up.
Absolutely. They're going to be asking some questions of themselves, asking some questions of each other as they enter into those famous Terre Haute switchbacks. One more time, we're getting a 5.6K, which is kind of an interesting split here, but Chucky Namio from Williams is our technical leader, but you could really throw a blanket over the top group right now.
All right, I'll give a team update from the 5K. It's 81 to 177, La Crosse over Wartburg. Pomona Pitzer, 196. NYU men moved up to 4th. We talked about their pack, and let me tell you, their 4 right now are all together. Their 5th is a little far back. He's 83 team points, so he's sitting at 107th, but their pack right now is 30, 31, 37, 38 team points, and that's roughly 5 seconds.
The front pack of this race is starting to get in kind of an arrow formation. That's when you know moves are starting to be made. There's a few athletes who I think have fallen out of this group. I don't know that they're joining this group, but it's going to be a barn burner.
The battle for 4th is going to be so intense. We'll get you a clear update, but as of right now, 4 teams are in the hunt for a 4th place trophy. No, 6 teams. 6 teams are in the hunt for a 4th place trophy. Once we get all 32 teams scored here through that 5.6 update, we'll give you that split. But this is intense. What is that? 10 guys still kind of in the mix, maybe a pack of 5 with a slight separation.
Yeah, it looks like 2 packs of 5 and then 2 sets of 3 behind them, but anything can happen. That final stretch may decide this one. Chucky still up front drilling it, followed by Grant Mathai for the Eagles. Mo Bati there rounding out the top 3. Here he is. He didn't qualify last year, and he finds himself in 3rd in Terre Haute.
Yeah, we talked to him on the podcast, and he wanted to learn from his mistakes at the North region last year. He didn't go into details of what those mistakes were, but it cost him a trip to the national meet when he had some big victories. Has a pretty clean resume so far this year. Only 1 loss, but it looked like he was pacing a teammate. He's won every big race so far, and he has confidence in himself that he can be a national champion.
We've talked about how the Eagles are kind of haunted by that 2nd place finish from last year, but Christian Patska was the 2nd place individual last year, and you know he wants an individual cross-country title. you can have success on the track. It's amazing, but I don't know, Stu, the cross-country title is kind of the crown jewel of D3 distance running.
Well, we spoke with with Christy Cazzola, a 17-time D3 national champion, and she said that the title that means the most to her was cross-country, because there's only one. There's plenty of other champions in track, and obviously you don't want to take away what other track athletes do, but there is one singular winner in this season, and you want to be that one winner. That's coming from a 17-time national champion.
And Mo Batti sniffing the lead for the first time there, but it's still a group of, 7, all in close contact here as we approach the 6.5K split. That's the next one we have for you guys.
The Mathai twins, how cool is that? In the lead pack with your twin brother. We mentioned the North region was the region to look for. If Patska is still there, they have 4 men.
I think that's Patska in third.
And they have 4 men potentially from their region in this national championship race in the top 10.
Absolutely. It's kind of an interesting mix of guys who see each other a lot, and some guys, like Batti, who does not get to race these guys a whole lot, kind of stays local for a lot of stuff. But here they are, top 3 now beginning to separate a little bit. I think it's Batti, Patska, and then one more athlete I haven't been able to identify.
It might be Grant Mathai. If I can tell from the jersey, it's a high view. You can kind of tell Chucky Namio went back. You can kind of see some purple and yellow behind, and I think that's Mo Batti making the move.
Mo Batti beginning to really push this from the front as we go through 6.5K. It looks like we've been through 6.5K, so our next split is going to be the final split. But it's Batti over Patska and over Grant Mathai from Wisconsin Lacrosse. Lacrosse looks to be in pretty firm command of the team competition right now. Can they get the individual title to go along with it? How much does Batti have in the tank?
The North region representing right now, Mo Batti had belief he could do this after not qualifying last year. But here comes Patska, and here comes Grant Mathai.
We've seen Patska close in races before. My heart is in my throat. They know that everyone is close. You can't tell too much in the form. They all look really good. Patska is a gamer. He knows he has to close this gap. That last 400 meters is going to be intense. So
of these 3, Mo Batti hasn't run on the course. Christian Patska was here at Pre-Nats. Grant Mathai was here for the John McNichols invite. So I hope they really studied this course so Mo knows how much time he has left, how much is left on this course as they make the final turn for home. I've got Batti with a 3-second lead as they go by the famous Terre Haute shoe tree in the back. This is the final right turn of the 2024 Division III Cross Country National Championships. They come through the start line for the last time. They come through the boxes for the last time. The crowd is lined up 4 and 5 deep beside them. What does Patska have left? He's closing the gap now. He's 2 seconds down. He's pulling up to the shoulder. Oh my gosh, this race is crazy. Christian Patska going to the arms. Mo Batti going to the arms. Patska is about to overtake Mo Batti. Does Mo Batti have a response? They're halfway through this long straightaway. Christian Patska, a 2-time national runner-up in cross-country. Can he claim his first cross-country national title? The straight-on view makes it look closer than it probably is. But Christian Patska is looking back one more time as he senses his first cross-country national championship becoming closer. And here comes Christian Patska from Whitewater over Batti and Mathai of the Eagles. They come across the famous NCAA logo. It's going to be Christian Patska, your national champion for the 2024 Cross Country Championships. Fingers up in the air from second to first. It's Christian Patska, Batti right behind, and Mathai in third. Nathan Tassi finishing 4th. What a finish. That was an incredible battle. It looked like Aiden Mathai might have been fifth behind Emmanuel LeBlanc. We'll get these live results. Big day for the Mirror twins. Oh my goodness. Can you believe that? An 8,000 meter race decided in the last, 200 meters or so? Yep, we thought that could happen. We were really treated to it, and here come the scores coming across the finish line now. Wow, and you see 2 Pomona-Pitzer runners in already. There's a Wartburg, 2 Wartburg right there. I see some NYU coming through, all 3 right there. Another Pomona. There's Adam Lenzer of lacrosse. I count 5 Wisconsin lacrosse guys already.
Yeah, I see all 5 of them just on our screen.
Yeah. So we'll see here. There's another Pomona, looks like. Results will be tabulating here.
It's got to be lacrosse, though. I mean, I don't want to speak too soon, but they looked so strong. Their first 5 looked so strong through that entire race, and they got top 5 finishes from the twins. It's going to be hard. It's hard to see them getting upset in the last 2K of the race.
Yeah, they had a 104-point lead with 1,500 meters to go. We've seen some crazier things happen, though, but having 2 in the top 5 is going to be key for the Eagles to get their first national title since 2005. And as the scores populate, unofficially right now, Wisconsin lacrosse looks in a very good position.
Let me just run through your top 10 individual finishes as we wait for the team competition to solidify itself. It was Patska, Bati, and Mathai in the top 3. Nathan Tassi was 4th. Aiden Mathai, the mirror twin of Grant, was in 5th. Emmanuel LeBlanc, 6th. Chucky Namio from Williams, 7th. Cameron Hattler, a strong run for the defending champions, in 8th. Isaiah Hammerin held on for 9th place, and Emerald Saventi from North Central rounds out the top 10.
Wow.
That was so intense, Stu. We saw that pack of 10 to 15 kind of enter that last 3K together, and it was almost imperceptible how the front 3 began to separate themselves.
I'm thinking back to that 5K where the whole group was still together, and we got to watch it all unfold. Such a fun race to watch, and this is kind of what we expected it to be here. There's so many deep teams, there's so many great athletes now in Division III, and it takes so much to win. I mean, look at what it takes to win. Christian Patska, the 5K, 3K steeple champion, had to wait until the final 200 meters to claim victory.
Absolutely, and I want to go back to how Patska came through that first K. We were a little concerned that maybe he and Gunnar Slender were too far back in the field. They were back in the 90s, but they ran a reasonable race. They knew exactly what they were doing. Like you said, great. They had a great course preview earlier at pre-nationals, and just respect for such a well-executed race.
Wow, I'm still catching my breath, but we're watching the team scores. We can say with confidence that Wisconsin lacrosse are your 2024 men's team national champions with 77 points. Wartburg looks to be firmly in second, runner-up with 174. Pomona-Pitzer in third with 182. And right now, Wisconsin Whitewater and NYU are currently tied for 4th place, but the edge goes to Whitewater right now as the tiebreaker is determined by number 1 versus number 1, number 2 versus number 2, number 3 versus number 3.
Head-to-head matchup.
Head-to-head matchup, thank you. And right
4 to 4, 5 to 5.
However, I got to look up in the NCAA finals, do you tie, take the trophy?
Interesting.
I don't know for sure.
We'll do some research.
We'll do some research and get back to you. But right now, Whitewater and NYU are tied for 4th place trophy.
As the field is mostly through at this point, a great shot from Terre Haute. We've really been rewarded with 2 amazing championship races. We saw Faith Duncan take the overall title in the women's race, Christian Patska taking the overall individual title in the men's race. Wisconsin lacrosse is going to get that team crown, and MIT was your team champions in the women's race. Stu, as we kind of begin to wrap things up here from the booth, what are some parting thoughts? Maybe not just about this race, but even just about this D3 season that we've had.
It's been such a fun season, and storylines coming into it, you kind of felt like on the men's side that Christian Patska was just going to run away with it. But you can see how many guys have elevated their game and kind of caught on to Christian Patska. Props to Christian Patska. He didn't have the summer he wanted. And I think D3 is at an all-time high right now with how many guys are running well, how hard it is to win a national title. And look at what Wisconsin lacrosse did. They lost by 1 point. They could have rolled over, felt sorry for themselves, but they went out, they got the job done in track. They got all individual All-Americans. They trained over the summer. They came back and had a decisive victory.
You know, Ethan Gregg, a D3 legend, is at home just, probably taking a break between his runs as a professional athlete, just jumping up and down in his living room right now, seeing the Eagles come back and take that title that they missed out on last year.
I think he's actually at the meet right now.
All right, so he can't hear me.
Yeah, he can't hear you.
Just a pleasure to watch these races as the athletes can now take a deep sigh of relief, connect with the fans, teammates, and parents who all made that pilgrimage out to cross-country town USA in Terre Haute, Indiana. We are going to step away from the broadcast and we'll be back for the awards presentation. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with us, tuning in to this national meet broadcast in Terre Haute. It's been such a pleasure from Stu and I to bring you the 2024 National Championships here. We'll be back for the awards ceremony, so stay tuned for that, and we'll talk to you again very soon.
NCAA Division III Men's and Women's Cross Country Championships. Again, thank you for being here today. Great championships here in Cross Country Town, USA. We will begin today's ceremony with the presentation of our Elite 90 Awards. The Elite 90 Award recognizes the true essence of the student athlete by honoring the individual with the highest cumulative grade point average participating at the final site for each of the NCAA's 90 championships. The recipient of the Elite 90 Award for the 2024 Division III Women's Cross Country Championship with a 4.0 GPA in biology, biochemistry, and pre-med is Jessie Bailey Atkinson from George Fox University. Quite frankly, while those pictures, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very difficult award to give out at the Division III because we have so many that are qualified. And oftentimes it goes to just quarter hours and semester hours to separate that. So congratulations, Miss Bailey Atkinson, the recipient of the Elite 90 Award for the 2024 Division III Men's Cross Country Championship, also with a 4.0 GPA in physical education, is Gunnar Schlender from the University of Wisconsin at Whitewater. And again, not only are they great runners, great athletes, but they personify and embody what it means to be a college student. Moms and dads, you send them to school to get an education, and these are two fine examples of what we do here at the NCAA Division III.
You've got plenty of time to do that.
Now again, gentlemen, top 40, you ought to be over there to the right side of the stage, please. And now to the men. In 40th place, he'll be our first All-American that we want to recognize. 24 minutes, 46 seconds. The senior from Haverford, that's Peter LaRochelle. In 39th place, from the University of Wisconsin at Eau Claire, time 24:44, that's Mason Shea. In 38th place, from Babson, the senior, 24:41, Anthony Rodriguez. In 37th place, into the chute, Wartburg's Jr., Lance Sebaski. Sebaski into the chute for the time of 24:41. In 36th place, the senior from Claremont, Mike Scripps, 24:40. His time, what's Oliver Pick? 35th place from Tufts. This time 24:39, the junior. That's Anna Crane Awachichi. In 34th, his time 24:39.2, the Marywood senior Jack Boronsky. In 33rd, from Rosh U, this time 24:35. That's the senior Colin Capilano. North Central College senior in 32nd place. This time 24:35. That's Matt Jett. 31st. From SUNY Geneseo, 24:34. Charlie Wilson. Now you're top 30. In 30th, from Colorado College, the sophomore Will Sheplet. Sheplet's time 24:34. Four guys crossed right there together. In 29th, same time, from Keene State, the senior Jake Velasquez. 28th, from Pomona Pitzer, again 24:34, Jack Stein. 27th, this time 24:34 as well, from St. Olaf, Andrew Scump. 24:33 for NYU, the senior in 26th place, Ryan Tobin. In 25th place from Carnegie Mellon, this time 24:33, that's Ryan Podnar. 24th place from George Fox, the senior, 24:33, Austin Gappa. In 23rd, 24:32 is his time from St. Olaf, Kevin Turlington. 22nd from the University of Wisconsin at Whitewater, 24:32, Dan Anderson. 21st from MIT, same time, the senior Sam Couts. Your top 20 teams, the finishers rather, 24:31 puts the lacrosse junior Jaden Zawicki into the finish chute. In 19th, same time, from Hope, the sophomore Ian Petruska. And now an All-American for the Wabash College Little Giants, the senior. He goes 24:30, Braden Kernott. In 17th, from SUNY Geneseo, 24:27, his time, Alex Hilliard. In 16th place, from lacrosse, 24 minutes, 16 seconds, Joey Sullivan. In 15th place, from Whitburn, he goes 24:26, the junior Jacob Green. 14th, from Lynchburg, he goes 24 minutes, 24 seconds, Jason Hunt. 13th, from Carnegie Mellon, the senior, 24:22, is his time, Matt Coyle. We recognize this gentleman earlier. Now here he is, 12th place into the finish chute. The Wisconsin Whitewater senior, Gunnar Schwender. 11th place for Pomona Pitzer, the sophomore, 24 minutes, 20 seconds, Quinn White. And now your top 10 finishers, ladies and gentlemen. 10th place from North Central, 24:20, the senior Emerald Saventi. 9th place, he goes 24:19 from Whitburn, the sophomore, Isaiah Hammerland. From Pomona Pitzer, 24:17, his time. In 8th place, Cameron Howler. The senior Eve from Williams, 24:14, his time. In 7th place, Charles Namiat. In 6th place, from Johns Hopkins, 24:13, junior Emmanuel LeBlanc. And now your top 5. 24 minutes, 11 seconds, Wisconsin lacrosse junior, that's Aiden Mathai. In fourth, from Roger Williams, 24-08, Nathan Tassi. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our top 3 individual finishers in the 2024 NCAA Division III Men's Cross Country National Championships. In third, from Roger Williams, the junior, 24, let me start again. In third place, 24-04 his time, the Wisconsin lacrosse junior, Grant Mathai. Your 2024 NCAA Division III National runner-up, 24-03 from Augsburg, that's Mohammed Badi. And ladies and gentlemen, I was quick when I read this. He is now a 6-time NCAA Division III National Champion from the University of Wisconsin at Whitewater, 24-01.6 his time, the senior, Christian Patska. We got the indoor track season, the outdoor track season to follow. Congratulations, what a great picture. The top 40 in the men's race, the literally best of the best. We'll get this photo up and then we'll go to the teams. Again, top 4 teams to the right. Thank you.
Let's go over here.
And now to the men's team awards. Finishing in 4th place. They have 219 points. That's University of Wisconsin at Whitewater. The Warhawks, Jeff Miller, the coach, 33 years, Mr. Miller, congratulations. Connor Murphy, Alex Metko, Chris Allen, Dan Anderson, Gunnar Schwender, and Christian Patska. University of Wisconsin, Whitewater, the Warhawks, Whitewater, Wisconsin, congratulations. What a great picture. We'll get your awards. It's a great day to be a Warhawk. Congratulations.
See you.
Nice job, Whitewater individual champion, the Elite 90 award winner, and a 4th place team trophy. Going to be a good ride back home. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your 3rd place team, 182 points. That's Pomona Pitzer Sage Hens. Here, Need, Jefferson White, Owen Kobeck, Evan Villano, Jack Stein, Quinn White, and Cameron Haller, the Sage Hens. National champions a year ago, third this year. The West Regional champions, the Southern California Intercollegiate Athletic Conference champions, Emma DeLira, the West Regional Coach of the Year, and now on the podium in her first year of coaching at Pomona Petzer. Congratulations. What a great photo this will be. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your 2024 NCAA Division III National Team Runners-Up, the Knights of Whitburg. Tyler Schermerhorn, Connor Wenzel, Shane Erb, Eli Larson, Lance Sobaski, Jacob Green, and Isaiah Hammerand. Ryan Chapman's Knights out of Waverly, Iowa, Whitburg. Midwest champions, a perfect score at the American Rivers Conference, and here they are, the national runners-up, the Knights of Whitburg. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your 2024 NCAA Division III National Champions, University of Wisconsin at lacrosse. The Eagles, runners-up the year ago, champions this year, undefeated throughout the season. Derek Stanley, congratulations. Won the WEAC, you won the North Regional. You put two in the top five, pretty hard to beat that. Corey Fairchild, Chuck Mayer, Adam Windsor, Jaden Zawicki, Joey Sullivan, Aiden Mathai, and Grant Mathai, the Eagles of lacrosse. Great photo op, being congratulated, great stuff. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we draw to a conclusion today's award ceremony, we'd like to give one more special recognition to our meet director, Larry Cole. And I'd like to commend him for all of his efforts in organizing and running this weekend's championship event. Larry Cole, it's your time to go up on the stage, my friend. Larry Cole is regarded by his peers as one of Division III's finest meet directors. In his career, he's hosted 3 indoor track and field national championships, 95, 07, and 09, and 2 cross nationals 12 years ago in 2012, and of course, field road. Now, Coach Cole just retired. And he did that at the end of last spring's track and field season, 21 years coaching there for the student athletes at Rose Hammond. He stands.